Chennai Corporation is on a road laying spree with the assembly elections fast approaching. Work is progressing in several areas as roads appear to have a high visibility value among voters. Residents in several areas are now complaining of the poor quality of roads. The road level is up in several neighborhoods. This, residents fear, will result in flooding of low-lying areas, which comes less than 6 months after the city saw one of the worst disasters in 100 years. Smita TK gives us this report.
Chennai's brand new roads, less than 6 months after floods battered them, should have ideally made residents happy. But many, like Ramakrishnan, are complaining. He says officials have violated road and stormwater laying norms. He alleges contractors did not scrape off the old bitumen layers from the old roads. The result, roads have grown taller by several inches.
Absolutely pathetic. The road was laid and the next day I found that the side of the roads have already been started flowing down. And the roads are not fully laid, no stormwater draining, absolutely no place where the water can actually go. There is no tapering done properly.
This road laying spree is ahead of the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls, which is set for May 16th. In the run-up to the elections, our major parties, AIA-DMK, DMK and the DMDK-PWF alliance. As roads appear to have high visibility value among voters, work is progressing in several areas. But thanks to its haste, most of it is improper.
If you look at in the developed countries, or the better approach is basically like first goes as an infrastructure which is designed and which is basically like fixed. Then they started building the building. So when actually residents go and live there, it's actually serviced area. But in our system, actually, like we do opposite. Like we go building it, then we start planning for it.
The corporation has spent nearly 4,500 crores on roads since 2011. While the bus routes have been laid after careful inspection, it is the interior roads where violations have been observed. Experts cite reducing the standard bitumen content of 4.5% to 3%, compromising on the average thickness of the new layer, not using a proper binding material to keep the old and new layers together. Adding to that, since most roads got battered by the floods, many contractors are not willing to set them right, blaming the catastrophe.
Corporation doesn't have a geo-reference map of stormwater drains. It doesn't have a good enough database of roads and road contractors. It doesn't actually collect data on performance. We have contractors building any of the civic infrastructure. They're really not penalized for poor performance, and the poor result of the infrastructure is borne by the residents.
When NDTV contacted officials, they clarified that they were aiming at relaying only those roads which were most badly damaged by the floods, and milling of the interior roads would be time-consuming, at least a year to complete, and can't afford to do that as the need was urgent. This, experts say, is another example of the poor management of civic infrastructure. What we saw in the recent floods that struck the city, a result of gross violation of urban planning norms. There seemed to be no effective way for residents to get in touch with the corporation. The helpline number and the website seemed to be a black hole in a way. With the elections around the corner, the government shouldn't be doing a shoddy job, as instead of gaining public confidence, they could just lose out on voters. In Chennai, with camera persons Sukumar and Raja, Smita TK for NDTV.